we're going to take a brief pause from this story so I can say something. I lived for like 7 months in this small town in Virginia called Chincoteague Island, and it drives my sister insane when I tell people that I'm from there. Like, yeah, I'm from Virginia. I'm from a really small town in Virginia. Because I identified with it so much, and I love that place so much that I am from there. Retroactively.
Good boys. La la la. La la la. Good boys.
Testing.
Test me.
What if I got up at work and tested the microphone and I was like,
Do sound check.
1, 2, testing 1, 2.
Or just
I'll
gonna
be like,
testing.
God. Testing.
Test.
Oh God. It's 11 a.m.
Yeah, that's how we start.
Timestamp. It's 11 a.m.
It
on,
is.
on a Tuesday.
It's gonna be a good one.
We're
then,
30
you know?
seconds into the pod. We're coming on mic.
We aren't super interested in advertisers. Actually, is what I'm learning.
Well, actually, what I would say is prove that was us ejaculating or using
Yeah.
ejaculation sounds.
Yeah,
You
that was
can't.
us testing the microphone.
That was us testing the mic.
You can see us. We didn't.
We were out of breath. We were just running up the stairs.
Oh God! I just.
We have a cold. We ran up the stairs.
Yep. There's all this pollen. Yeah.
Yep. And then
Oh,
this.
let's stick to work. Oh God, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I can't. Oh, I can't come in today,
I
Jeff.
can't.
Oh.
Into work today.
If you- I just think something's going around.
I feel like that's also what it sounds like when people are like in a movie like Gravity or like in a submarine. They're always making noises like. It's like, what
Think
is
about
that?
the actors or the directors. Like, hey, could you make the cum noises louder, please? We got to hear you through the water.
Or they're just like, cut, Sandra Bullock. What the fuck are you doing?
Is this doing it for you? Do we have to watch again, Sandra?
Oh my god! Shout out to a queen, Sandy B.
That is the being in front of a camera. I always feel like a jackass.
Mm-hmm.
Just when you have to do like a sketch or something.
Right.
There's a little bit of just like, okay, well, I'm gonna make that face you guys all thought was funny. You ready for it? Like,
Yeah. I mean, someone said that that's like what all commercials are nowadays. Is like an improviser doing something funny in the audition room and then spending like $10,000 to recreate it and make it the least funny thing you've ever seen in your life.
it is. Yes, when you watch these commercials and it's horrible. Oh, I saw a great bad one with Idris Elba the other day.
Uh-huh.
It was so funny because he just has a face he does when he doesn't care. Have you seen that? Where it's kind of like eyebrows up, squints. Yeah, I couldn't tell what the ad was, but it's just him going through talking about AI.
Okay, I saw an ad recently that was like a medication thing, and it was Amy Poehler's voice.
Oh,
You never saw her in the whole commercial. It was just her voice.
Yeah.
She never said, "Hi, I'm Amy Poehler." But I'm like, why? Why did they spend the money to get her to do this?
it's probably a bump, right? She's like, well, I'll come into your voice booth, I guess, as Amy Poehler.
Right.
But like to use her name is more. That's the thing Kevin Hart does. Like,
I guess, but they didn't even say like Amy Poehler. It was just her voice.
Kevin Hart does that for movies. Like he gets his contract all negotiated, and then someone's like, "Hey, we post that on your Instagram?" He's like, "No, that's a different fee. Like you paid me to
Totally.
be in the movie. That's crazy."
Yeah, it's true.
So you told me something that I need you to explain to me now.
Okay.
Why is Eragon gay?
Eragon is gay because in this essay I will.
Well, a 15-year-old boy wrote a very successful like high fantasy book.
So we've figured out over wings the other night that we're both fans of the Eragon series. I mean this was my favorite series growing up. I was obsessed with it. And Eragon is gay. And in part, it's because he's kind of sexless in the books, like, and
That's what you guys are known for.
you can project yourself onto him as a young gay man easily because he doesn't
Interesting.
have a love interest.
Mhm.
But I will say, his sexual tension with his cousin in this novel is so palpable. Rowan is his cousin's
Rowan or
name?
something like that.
Rowan?
Rowan, maybe.
Okay.
Rowan Atkinson. It's Mr.
So
Bean.
they leave each other at the beginning of these books. Eragon leaves to go on this big quest. Rowan ends up hiking all of the villagers through the spine to safety after the Razak attack.
This is what, just so you know, this is how I feel when you talk about drag stuff. This is how people who haven't read the book.
That's
8 down
hilarious.
boots, wig. I don't know what these words are. The Razak and the spine.
So the Razak were down boots in the spine. And Rowan had to chasse across the spine in order to get out.
He absolutely ate defending the town.
He ate down in the town. That's really funny. Okay. So then they hadn't seen each other in like 2 or 3 years until they see each other on the battlefield at the end of Eldest.
Which is the third book of these long books.
I believe
Second
it's
book,
the
you're
second
right.
book with the red dragon on the front, Murtag's dragon. That's besides the point too. There's a whole other thing to unpack with Murtag. Only his family members. So then when Eragon sees Rowan again in this battlefield, there's this whole drawn out thing of like, he looks the way he did, but all of his muscles have been filled out, and he looks so manly. And then there's from the perspective of Rowan, where he's like, Eragon looks so grown up, but his features are so sleek and feminine because he's become part elf because of the whole dragon situation, and they just like are seeing each other for the first time in this new light.
Are we not related enough for this to be cool
and
now?
it's literally like kiss and fuck in the middle of this battlefield. Please, no one's gonna care. No one's even gonna see. They're too busy killing each other. I don't know. So that's part of it.
Yes.
They need to
There's
kiss.
some text supporting it.
There is definitely, it's a supported choice by the text. Meanwhile, I also told you my whole theory about the dragon egg representing queerness and how it ruined his family dynamic, and then he had to move away, but then it became the thing that brings him the most joy in his life. That's the SparkNotes version. I can't tell the big full.
I understand. I also like the idea that maybe you just read some fanfic as a kid, and you're like, yes, this was very gay.
Well, I didn't want to tell you this in the last episode because I will not be showing you or looking it up.
Oh, come on.
But I wrote some supernatural fanfic.
Yes.
That
if you can find it, please.
you won't be able to find it. I used a pseudonym.
Yeah.
I wrote it on Wattpad, and then I got an email about it several years later because I wrote it in like 9th grade.
Oh.
I got an email about it that was like, check out the new comments on this thing. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I click it. It has 23,000 likes. And like all of these comments being like, update, please update this.
And you're like, at that point, what, 17? Like, absolutely
Absolutely.
not. I'm not
First of all,
rewriting this.
yeah, not rewriting this. I haven't cared about Supernatural in 3 years since I wrote it in the first place. But
it
was
is so
kinda-
funny that you watched that in, 9th grade, you said? And I started it in college and was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, by the time you started watching it, I had been long over.
Yeah, you'd matured past Supernatural by the time I found it.
I stopped watching it actually the end of my sophomore year because I like caught up to the current season and then was watching it as it came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, there's something about waiting a week in between each episode where I was like, oh, this is bad.
Well, yeah, that's good for prestige shows where you can like talk about it and digest. But then it's a soap opera. You're like,
Yeah.
we should have this all at once.
Yeah. But anyway, when did you get into Eragon?
I read them as they came out.
Oh, work.
Every book as they came out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know if Christopher Paolini's weirdly religious. A lot of those guys are. Do you know what I mean? The dragon writing people. So I'd really like
He
to
made
know.
me want to go to Montana. That's where he's from, and he said like a lot of his inspiration for Allegasia was from
That's very cool.
Montana. Okay, I used to have a poster on my wall that I made myself of a big dragon with one of the quotes from the book.
Which one?
That's like, Saphira says it in the first book. She's like, I may be flying blindly and be about to crash, but oh, what a glorious flight. And I remember as a kid reading that and being like, that's about life. That's my life.
I'm so deep right now.
I may be flying blindly and be about to crash, but oh, what a glorious flight.
That's episode title right there. What a glorious flight.
What a glorious flight. I literally love those books.
Yeah, I did too. When I read
what
the
if I
last
did a
one-
reread? I did one 2 years ago. What if I did
Really?
another one?
No, I read it when they were coming out, so I was in college by the time. Is Inheritance the final one or Brissinger?
Inheritance.
Inheritance is the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I cried during that with Arya at the end there.
I felt that it was a little underwhelming to be the finale of such an epic series. I'm like, I don't know. I felt it was a little cheesy to be like, I guess all of it's a little cheesy because it's all kind of derivative.
Yeah.
But when I'm like, okay, you go to the guy's final layer and like he's doing some weird stuff with time, I'm like, that's just so like, I don't know, come up with something new.
I mean, that is a charge
wanna-
that you cannot put at Eragon because it's not a single thing new in that book.
I want a
but
big
understand.
twist. I want a big twist.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
I want Eragon and what's his
And
name
Rowan
to
to
kiss. No, the evil guy.
Galbatorix.
Yeah, I want Galbatorix to be like, you walk in, he's like making out with his dragon or something crazy. But that would never happen in these books because they're very tame.
Oh, very. Yeah.
The
like you said,
tamest
there's
book
no,
you could
like, sexual
imagine.
tension at
There's
all.
no sex. Completely sexless.
Yeah. Do you know that?
Right,
what's his
Eragon,
name?
spoilers, leaves Allegazia.
Yeah.
That is so cheap and like, I don't know. It's like at the end of Desperate Housewives. Have you seen that show?
No.
I think you might like it if you like Supernatural.
I think the thing I like about Supernatural is not the soap opera element. I think it's the magic and the monsters.
Well, no, there's actually none of that. But
Okay.
maybe this is a Desperate Housewives rewatch podcast because that show's fucking incredible.
I like that we just keep pitching other podcasts that are better than ours.
It is so good, Max. I think you'd love it. It's the most bingeable thing of all time. That's besides the point.
Mhm.
I'm going to spoil the ending.
Okay.
The ending, after 9 seasons of the show, they all move away. What do you mean? That's so disappointing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
but isn't that life? Like, it's never going to be a big twist.
well, I'm living life. I want to watch a TV show.
I remember, who was it that, I can't remember his name, but I know what he looks like. John Malkovich played Galbatorix in the movie. Hilarious.
I have not watched the
It's not
movie.
good. You should watch it. It's like
I don't know if I can handle it.
historically known as being bad.
Here's what I really struggle with. I wish I never watched the Hunger Games movies as I was reading the books.
Really?
Because then I had a version of Katniss in my head that was not Jennifer Lawrence, and then I saw the movie, and then when I tried to read the third book, it was Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
So I have all these versions of the Eragon characters that mean a lot to me in my brain, and I don't want that to be tainted by the ones in the movie.
We'll taint it up.
Emphasis on taint.
Okay,
It is
fair.
so funny that those books were really horny to me, and they have no sex in them. None.
Or it's really what you bring to it. You were a horny little ninth grader.
I was just horny and happened to have the book.
Yeah, it was something for you to point that horniness at. I don't know how we're not a music podcast. I was thinking about the other day that all you do is compose, and I voraciously consume music and have made it in the past. Like it's funny to me that I think last week was the first time we even really talked about music.
I find that sometimes I have a particular taste, and I don't have like. My parents weren't music people. I guess they kind of are, but like my mom listened to U2 a lot, and she liked Madonna, but they didn't like. They weren't like putting on the classics.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I didn't grow up with any of that. And then my music taste was pretty much only Regina Spektor for several years.
That's the one in Mean Girls. How is
Shut
that
the
your
fuck up. I have to mention Regina Spektor once every pod. But that's what I'm saying. She's all I listened to.
Right, I get that. My mom was a huge music person. She told me when she, like, after college, got her first apartment, she had to get rid of cable or she would stay up all night watching MTV, just watching the videos. And so it was definitely, we did that. We watched live concerts growing up. Like, she bought DVDs of concerts that we'd watch and stuff. So I just think about like how much you compose, and I've had so much fun this last. Because it's funny, the episode that came out today, we filmed 2 days ago, and we're filming today to come out next week, right?
Yeah.
But in the 2 days since I've seen you, I've spent so much time listening to Bare Naked Ladies to go, which 8 am I going to send to Owen? Like listening deep dive, and I was like, this is fun, and it'd be fun to bring in like songs to talk about and stuff. I think.
Yeah, I'd be so down for that.
Yeah.
I used to listen to this podcast called Aria Code.
Okay. Oh, that's a good name.
Broke down different arias from operas.
Yeah.
We could do that, but for whatever shitty music we like.
Like breaking down the movements and
yeah.
It actually could be interesting with the. That'd be too dorky, but we could do even like analysis.
Can I send you my 8 favorite Regina Spektor songs?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you're gonna like them.
Well, I'm not picking my 8 favorite. I'm picking the 8 I think you will like the best. I think that's the fun I'm having right now.
I see.
And I'm making me listen to every album and go, based on what I know about Owen and his consumption habits.
Heroin, meth.
Dragon porn.
I mean, there is something horny about like Eragon's connection with Saphira as well.
It's very erotic for sure.
It could be very erotic where they share each other's thoughts. They're the only 2 people in a room who are like having this deeper layer conversation that everyone else isn't privy to. There's something sexy about a little secret, because I'm not like, what's the word? I guess the word's transsexual.
Handsome. What word are you not?
I'm not handsome, smart, funny. What's like? I don't like dress up in women's clothes for sexual pleasure.
Right.
I do dress up in women's clothes.
It's just nothing sexual about it.
But there's, that's like a fetish or like
yeah.
a thing people do. I will say I had to go to the store to buy like pantyhose, and I bought them, and they were in my little bag on the walk home, and I was like, there's something a little sexy that nobody on the street knows, that I have like these women's pantyhose in this bag that I'm about to put on.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
but
secrets are sexy.
It was just a sexy secret.
Yeah, and it's sexual in a certain, because it's playing with gender, so there is even that added. Like,
yeah, right.
Not for you, but it's more of a taboo. Breaking taboos is hot.
Right. I want to cut that.
We're gonna move. No, why? That's interesting. And
okay.
Yeah, I don't think that was any way bad. It, very clearly not for sex. Could be, but isn't.
But it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was to
just
put
fully
on
wasn't.
a
It was for
drag
your
musical.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even putting them on. It was just the walk home with them in my bag.
And it was only so he could convert your kids conservatives. That's why he was doing it.
I was trying to groom.
Yeah. There's this show called The Magicians that is another. I think if you watch it, you'd make fun of me for how like campy and kind of gay it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only series I've ever watched called The Magicians. It's the only series I've watched that was better than the books. And the books were like a New York Times like bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
But the books are like really sad and serious. It's basically if magic were real, it would be really, really, really hard. Is the idea? So it's a bunch of like genius level grad students had to test to get into the magical school. And it's about kind of this. And it's what's really sick is it's actually like supposed to have Narnia in it. Did you read the Narnia books growing up?
I didn't read them. I watched the movies. It was a little
bummer. The books are so good. I'm just saying
it was
to.
older than me.
Yeah, they're old.
Yeah.
They're definitely older. But
it's like my brother read them.
That's weird because they're older than that. They're like when my mom was a kid.
Oh.
They're old.
Well, I think it was even the movies were a little older than me.
That makes sense. Well, my mom went to England for a year when she was a kid.
Ooh,
so she has a couple my granddaddy taught. That's all. He was a professor, an English professor. So he went where it came from, I guess. Had to go to the source to learn the English he wanted to teach.
Mm-hmm.
But so there's some stuff like C.S. Lewis being British. She likes some of that British stuff.
Right.
She loves the monarchy, which is hilarious.
I saw a clip from it recently on TikTok. It was probably like Narnia part 37 of 80 or whatever.
Yeah.
But with Tilda Swinton being that ice queen.
Yeah.
God, she ate that.
Yeah, she crushed.
She was really good.
She was very good.
Turkish delight.
Turkish delight. Well, the Magician show has a stand-in for Narnia because they wanted to use Narnia but they couldn't get the rights. Where the main character is like obsessed with this Narnia stand-in, and they end up going to it. Obviously, do you know what I mean? Like it's actually real because magic's real, and it's really cool. But the show is, I think, gets pretty fucking campy at a lot of points. But there's this moment, I don't know, something we were talking about made me think of it, where it's the main character's kind of straight-laced. He's he's got a crush on his female best friend and all that, right? And they've got kind of a very very foppish guy who's like the older Elliot. He's like the older guy who's like overseeing him, and like his big sib, and is also kind of like sexually inappropriate to make him uncomfortable, never actually coming on to him. Do you know what I mean? Just as like way more forward and bohemian with it, and it's kind of coded like maybe problematically at points, but it's not all the time.
Sure.
But there's an episode where they're doing some big quest or whatever. It's magic, and they get stuck in like a time loop where they have to solve this puzzle, and it takes them like 75 years, and then they come back to their regular age. But it's just the two dudes, and they like fully fall in love and have a family, and they're this whole time they're trying to solve this giant puzzle they're doing, and then they come back, and then for the rest of the show, that is part of it. Like no one knows except them that they were there that long and in love, and like a character dies at one point, and no one knows that like they were fully in love for like 50 years, and it's a very cool like I'd never seen that before. I've seen the time loop, they date, they come back, and then it's never really treated like real. Right. But to make it like gay was interesting for a character who's not coded gay at all. You know what I mean? He dates women.
Right.
And for them to come back and it actually matter for the rest of the time it was anyway. I really like that show.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But have you seen The Last of Us? Maybe this is a TV show recap podcast.
Could be because I don't watch anything. No, but the roommates watch it.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
I watched 6 episodes straight on a plane. They're an hour long each. It was a 6-hour plane ride.
How does that? Could you run the math for me again there?
Well, each episode is an hour long. I watched 6 of them, and the plane ride was 6 hours long.
Oh. I don't get it. Will you take me through?
Yeah, so each episode is an hour long.
Right. I'm with you so far.
Okay.
1 episode, 1 hour.
I watched 6 episodes.
So you then watched 8 hours of TV. 6 episodes.
The plane ride was 6 hours long. Anyway, I don't even want to spoil it for you. 'Cause
I do know a lot of it through osmosis.
You know episode 3 with the gays?
Yeah.
I sobbed my eyes out on this plane. And, you know, people talk about, like, you cry on planes or whatever. I was, like, coughing, sobbing. Like, the guy next to me was definitely like, what is happening over here?
Are you okay?
And I'm taking a plane this summer, and I'm kind of...
watch the same 6 episodes?
Well, I'm kind of... The season 2 is coming out, so I'm hoping they just have that, and I can only watch this on planes.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
If I fall asleep the second I'm on a plane or in a car.
I'm so jealous of that.
Dude, if I'm not driving, I'm out. So I'm a great co-pilot if you don't need someone to talk to. Because I will put headphones in, you can listen to whatever you want as loud as you want. Like if I had comics on the road, be like, Jesus, you were serious. I was like, yes, wow. I will be out. So I'm
jealous of that.
But on a plane, don't fit. Shoulder to shoulder. Like I physically have to be like doing this to not. But I had a guy once, because I do that. I always try to get an aisle because I can kind of like lean out.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
Well, that's how I feel with my long legs.
Yes, but I even mean just literally so you can like not be touched by me. And I had a guy be like, hey, one of the flight attendants go, hey, you know, if you tell them at the gate that you want an extra spot, they'll see you and probably like find you one that doesn't have someone next to you. I was like, that's nice. You shouldn't just come up to people and say that though, 'cause it doesn't feel nice.
Hey, fatty.
You big food fuck.
Hey, really quick, fatty.
Yeah.
Really quick, you big huge fatty. I wanted to say.
Hey, you look unhealthy, so we don't want to yuck anybody else's ride.
I heard you breathing over here.
Dude, don't say that. I don't need it.
Pretzels.
We'll get you an extra.
Get you an extra.
I knock out so fast. There was
I'm jealous.
In high school, a bus didn't come to pick us up for a basketball game. Like they just didn't schedule a bus. It was like a JV scrimmage or whatever. And it was like, yeah, none of the sophomores drive, so we need a bus, but they thought we could drive. And then the coaches had to drive us, right? And we're like packed in this truck. And I'm fully with like 4 good friends of mine getting ready to go play a basketball game. Mm-hmm. And I have to sit up front because I'm the tallest guy. And I fall asleep like this. Like a dead person in the front seat of a car on the way to a game. Like where we're talking, I just cannot stay awake in a truck or in a car. Like
Why do you think that is? Do you think this is trauma?
No, I just think that when we did drives as a kid, they were always like, just go to bed.
Oh.
This is like my uncle specifically was like, we're not gonna this ride isn't for you. You're going to bed. We're not stopping. My uncle had an Explorer or an Expedition, you know, the like big SUV, and they would take the seat out of the back, like the bench seat, and it would just be a bunch of blankets and pillows, super safe on a highway.
Sounds nice though.
It was amazing,
Yeah.
right? You knock out, you'd hang out, and they had a hole. Like, so the way that they would go in, that the seats go in, it was literally just like a post would go into a hole, and like you're supposed to put a screw on the bottom, but it was long enough, didn't matter. So that's pulled out. He literally would say, if you got to pee, I'm not stopping till I have to stop. So pee. So you just learned to not like chug a bunch of water, and like when stop, you go to the bathroom and all that.
So that's how I've been with, not to make this a theater podcast, but I have some anxiety surrounding like theater restroom. Like
Okay.
when all the urinals are right next to each other and there's no dividers, and I just get stressed out by that whole situation, sometimes can't go. And then thinking about it makes it 3 million times worse. Yeah. So I've definitely been like, if I'm seeing a show one night, I'm not drinking water that day because I don't want. Basically, I'm like,
you show up at intermission, water.
But then, well, yes, water. And then Act 2 is very enjoyable. I get to drink a big water bottle, a glass of water.
They're like, "Sir, are you okay?" I'm just excited for the show. Can you help me to my seat?
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah. I can imagine. Well, you know I used to drink 3 gallons of water a day. Have we?
That's not... You don't need that.
It was when I was playing basketball. So I was sweating a shitload. So it was basically like I would drink a gallon at a practice or a game. Just for like hydration, right?
Yeah.
And then I would always drink a gallon. I've always drank a gallon during the day. Just like I'm big and need the water.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was trying to be skinny, which I was for a long time playing basketball, drink another gallon of water so you don't get hungry. Just like every time you get hungry, take a sip to like keep the weight off. And I don't even know where I was going. The whole I need to pee thing blows my mind. I'm a goddamn camel. Like, I can just hold it.
Not me. I need to pee. Always.
When I was in senior year, I rolled my ankle really bad, right? And my coach was insane. That one, actually. I rolled that ankle.
I can't believe we're putting that out for free. People are going to eat that
this
up.
Economy. But I rolled my ankle really bad, and my coach never let me take any days off. Like, literally the next day was like in the training room bullying the trainer to let me play again. So I took 4,000 milligrams ibuprofen every day during my last period. My last class of the day, I'd just take a bottle and just shove it so that I could like...
That's a lot.
Yeah. I remember the teacher...
bad for your liver or something?
And kidneys, I'm sure. But the teacher literally was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Don't worry about it." She's like, "Okay." Dude, she did not care. She was the best. She was a great teacher. Very close to retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we were her last like full-time calculus class. We had one AP class at my college or at my high school, which is advanced placement. Did you do that at our arts high school? Is that a thing?
We had just a few AP classes offered our senior year.
Right. Well, we just had the one calculus, and she taught calculus at college. So, like, she could definitely teach it. Nobody passed it our whole class, and we spent a year getting ready for it.
Damn.
Because we didn't care. It was all seniors in that class. None of us were like, "Oh, we're gonna be math majors."
That's why. Yeah, I didn't take it. I took like statistics or whatever because I was like, the only AP. Yeah, I should have and could have, but I was like, it's AP. I just want a regular calculus class. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Well, I probably could have passed it. We studied, but we did this whole. Like, I won this, or I got second in the nation in this animating contest in high school. We did this. We were kind of more focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
But we did Panini Fridays. One of my friends brought in a Panini maker and left it in her room. She just did not care by the end. She was like, "All right, you guys clearly don't want to pass the test. I'm going to teach you every day, but then you're going to make paninis, I guess." Small towns are the best, dude. I feel bad for people that didn't get a small town experience.
Yeah, I did not.
We had this little, like, gas station that was, like, it's a bodega, right? But it's a general store, like, in the country. And it was a half a mile from the school. It was right next to my house.
You'd be like, we had a gas station. I'm like, gas station? Is that like a bodega?
Is that like a bodega
You're
for cars?
Putting it in terms that I could possibly understand.
Well, when I explain this
cars
place,
are like the subway, except they go on the road.
And you do it yourself. You know that thing that almost hits you all the time when you try to cross the road? Cars.
Oh, that's what those are.
Yeah. But it's just a little general store, and they had the best burgers, which is it was just weird, counterintuitive.
Burgers are like pizza except if there was 2 of them and
It's
no sauce.
Yeah, it's like there was 2 bagels and you had the sausage, egg, and cheese, but just the sausage and no egg.
Yeah.
But
I also didn't grow up in New York.
no, you should. I think that should be part of your lore. I think we
Okay.
should strike Baltimore.
Well, I used to, we're going to take a brief pause from this story so I can
Yeah,
say
yeah.
something. I lived for like 7 months in this small town in Virginia called Chincoteague Island, and it drives my sister insane when I tell people that I'm from there. They're like, yeah, I'm from Virginia. I'm from a really small town in Virginia. Because I identified with it so much and I love that place so much that I am from there. Retroactively.
Dude, I had a friend in college who used to summer in Chicago. Like his family would go there for like a month at a time. And dude, you're from Canton. You are not from Chicago. You visit there once a year. You're not from there. He goes, well, I was born there. Have you had that debate though? If you're born there, are you from there?
No.
That people love that shit. It might be.
I don't agree with that.
I don't either. But some people love saying he was born there. I was born in Las Vegas. I'm not from Las Vegas. I was there for 2 months before we moved back to Ohio.
You were born in Las Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go back where you came from?
I don't even remember what the story was.
Paninis.
It was after that. Do a little burp and blow. You see it? You see it's useful?
I didn't do it.
You should have.
I burped inside my mouth and then slowly let it release.
Yeah.
Like a pressure valve. Here's an
Insane.
example.
It's much more efficient. It's much more polite.
I don't know if it's much more polite.
You make me experience it for longer. It's not like you're actually hiding it from me.
You know how many times I've done that and you haven't seen it?
None.
Many.
Maybe if I'm looking that way, I see it. I just don't comment
No.
on it because
Mm-mm.
now I'm
I'm
commenting.
doing it
on
right
you.
now.
I am
doing it
currently
as-
burping. Can't you hear me?
Yeah, I don't remember what you were going to say.
Something about being in a small town. I don't know. Oh, it was the bodega.
Gas station.
Yeah.
It was a
Which is
gas
Station. Yeah.
Gas station.
Well, but I just remember my senior year we got a new guidance counselor,
Mhm.
and like my school was weird where they like let students interview potential faculty. Like they had a committee of
Work.
students. Our superintendent was very like.
Where were you on January 6th?
You can't teach here if you didn't defend our Constitution.
Yep.
Well, but because of that, I'm a junior, and the woman who was retiring had like fucked so many of my friends out of like scholarships and stuff. Like she had like not submitted on time and like all this stuff, right? So I was like, I'm gonna be on that committee, right? And it was all the like overachievers that did that, and she was the one I liked when we hired. She was really cool. So we got to be like, I wouldn't say like friends, because obviously I'm a senior high school and this woman's like probably 27. So
Right.
but you know what I mean, like a good relationship there. And I used to go to that. You weren't allowed to, but I would just go to my car and drive to that gas station, get lunch some days, like if the shitty stuff was at the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a couple teachers I liked and her where I'd like walk around and be like, hey, you got a lunch order? You want something you want? You know what I mean? Like, and it was fun. I got one from her and I go to leave. And this teacher, who, her son played basketball with my cousin. I know her. She goes, where are you going? I'm just going to get something for my car. She goes, you know you're not allowed to do that. Because like people, we had like internships in high school, so people would leave at lunch to go to their intern or come back. So if you just went confident, no one noticed. But she stopped me, and I came back to the guidance counselor, and I was like, sorry, I can't go. Old teacher up there's being a dickhead. And she goes, she's not letting you go? I go, no. She goes, okay. We should go anywhere because principal's not in today. Vice principal's not in today. So you're going to go to your car. You're going to get food. You're going to come back. She's going to send you to get in trouble, and she's going to send you to me because I'm who's in charge today now. So I'm going to say it was a very bad thing, Max, and then you're going to come in and we're going to eat burgers. I was like, hell yes, dude. I would walk into fire for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, I love that. I love that stuff about small towns. Like my friend fucked 2 different student teachers, dated one for like 2 years
Mm-hmm.
after graduation. Isn't that crazy?
That doesn't just happen in small towns.
No, I do know that, but like brought her to high school parties and stuff.
But this is different because they were second cousins.
No, I know that happens a lot. I just like, I don't know. I don't think that happens. I don't think they date and then continue to date afterwards.
I think you'd be surprised.
Really?
I mean,
I know you went to Catholic school.
this
so it's
stuff
completely
happened at
different.
my sister's school, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of that type of behavior. I wanted to talk to you about Black Mirror.
Oh yeah.
Have you watched any of it?
No.
None of it?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Because I was going to explain this first episode and kind of get your thoughts and opinions throughout. Everyone is loving this first episode, me a little less so.
Okay.
The structure of it is that they're all sci-fi stories
It's
have
Twilight
kind of
Zone,
like
but sci-fi.
yeah, with like dark twists and social commentary, really. So the first one, there's this young couple who's like super in love. One of them is Rashida Jones. Not the character, the actor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's not playing herself.
No, she's not.
It's someone else
I would
playing
hope
Rashida
not.
Jones.
That would be pretty
That
good.
would be very funny.
Their
Like
character's
just a
name just
fully-
happened to be Rashida Jones.
Just a fully white woman with that name, and then Rashida plays another character.
Okay, happy couple, whatever. I forget how exactly it happens. I think woman gets in a car crash. Rashida Jones gets in a car crash.
Mm-hmm. Is this the upload to a server thing?
Yes.
We talked about this.
On this?
Yeah. Because it was when I was trying to get rid of my cell phone. It had just come out. And you brought it up, and so did my roommate.
But I didn't talk about the whole thing.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
No. I want to.
Okay.
I just want to go.
Just want to go
through
a
it.
recap. Okay.
Because then I feel like clips-wise, like people will get the context of what we're talking
I
about,
understand.
and you can chip in and throw jokes at it, and
Thank
it's
you.
very current in this moment.
It's very funny to lay out exactly the formula of a podcast to a people on a podcast.
Yes. So, okay, she gets in a car crash. Part of her brain doesn't work anymore.
She died. No, I was trying to chip in jokes. Sorry.
Try harder, sweetie. She lived. She's in a coma.
Right.
This person comes to the hospital, be like, there's this new treatment that we're trying out. You can upload. We're going to put like a little computer in there. And it's basically works like cell service.
Elon. Elon came. We have a chip to put in your wife's brain.
I'm part of the hospital efficiency.
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry. Don't say yes to experimental anything for medicine.
It's her only chance to live.
I don't want to be Bobby Kennedy on it, but I don't trust that I've been like primed too much.
I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't know. It's like the nurse or the doctor or whoever was like, she's gonna die or she's gonna be on life support forever. This is the only chance that you have of talking to your wife ever again. I feel like you're gonna take it.
Yes, I obviously understand their circumstances, but it's like, how many different Tuskegee Airmen ass things have to happen before we?
But if you don't test anything, then nothing would happen. We would have no advancements.
Do it on monkeys. Do it on dogs. Do it on mice. Like I know what you're saying. You do eventually at a certain
Valid.
point, but
Do you remember that story back in the day where they like grew a human ear on the
on a mouse, yeah.
on the mouse?
Do you know why I remember that story? It's because of South Park. They did an episode where they grew a
Oh,
dick
did
on a
they?
mouse.
Shout out.
Yeah.
No one's doing it like
Just
that.
an insane
Yeah.
show. I want to rewatch that stuff through a queer lens.
Okay. And
Well,
now
do you
that
know
you've come out.
Well, no. Do you know, like, Mr. Garrison had a sex change operation, was a lesbian for a while,
Right.
was back to being a gay man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in, like, how exactly tone deaf it was, because I kind of get the vibe it wasn't
I
necessarily.
don't think it was tone deaf, but I think it's just it was funny.
Yeah, when there's something, too, in that show, they don't don't do this person is representative of this community thing. Like, Mr. Garrison is just a psycho who became Trump.
Psychopath.
But, you know, they have, like, an incredibly racist caricature of a Chinese guy is their
Right.
Chinese delivery guy. And that, like, but there's a certain amount of, like, that's the point, that's all that ever makes it on these shows. Or, like, do you know the whole Tolkien thing?
Mm-mm.
So you know the one black character's name is Token.
Right.
Black,
Yes.
Well, like 2 seasons ago, they revealed his name is not Token, it's Tolkien, because his dad is a fan of J.R.R. Tolkien. And it was the day that episode came out, everything on HBO, if you went back to watch subtitles, his name was Tolkien. Like,
Whoa.
they were like
That's so
gaslighting
fun.
at large that, and they had an episode where it's like, oh my God, am I the problem? Like, I thought his name was Token. So they do a lot of that stuff where they kind of play with the expectations.
I think yeah. I think it's usually in good. Well, it's in bad taste, but it's purposefully in bad taste.
Yes, it is intentional. It's not hateful.
Right.
Okay, so we've got Elon Musk is putting his Neuralink into Rashida Jones, which is not a metaphor or euphemism, but really could be.
But it is a video I searched up pretty recently
you
on
know-
deepfake.com.
Do you know how he has like 17 kids and doesn't have sex?
Doesn't have sex.
There's the buzz is that he has a bad dick implant. But he just basically mails them cum and says, get to it. Like, that's...
But why?
Because I don't know, dude. What is the point in being a Nazi?
That's like the worst part of having sex, is having a kid.
So that's why you don't do it.
Right.
Can you imagine, though? Because these women who are now, like, publicly going, like, Elon, support your kids on Twitter. He just mailed them a fucking jar of cum. Like, get to it.
That's crazy. What a fucking freak.
What a fucking freak, yes.
And not even in a fun way. Like, be a freak in a fun way.
Yeah. That's the thing I feel...
Make homemade puppets or something.
Something, yeah. I'm going to a puppet show in a week. Do you want to go?
I would love to go.
It's kind of expensive, but we'll talk about it.
I might go.
Yeah. A friend of mine's directing it and in it. But
and you can't get a free connect or
we're not coworker friends. We're not like buddy buddies. You know
this
what I mean?
isn't the $200 one.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've already told her I can't do that.
Okay.
But and she got it and was like, "Oh, this is like a trade show I can't go to." She was like, "Yeah, that's what I've been saying." I was like, "Now all the stuff you've been saying sinks in now that I see the ticket link, you know." But fuck. Oh yeah, Elon, just a weirdo to be like, you know, I don't say this lightly. I kind of feel bad for the Nazis. Like the last time around they had fun at least.
Right.
This time around it just seems
they're fucking losers.
So boring to be like, at least be rah, we're awesome, not like duplicitous and like sneaky. Do you know what I mean?
Come on, vocab. Duplicitous.
Well, you know,
I get what you mean. I guess they are kind of controlling stuff now. But there was like some amount of like, I guess they have pride. It's called white pride. And I was going to say there was an amount of pride.
But there's not. It's a lot of cry bullying, right? It's like, you have to respect me.
Right.
He's autistic. It's like, why don't you just do it? Why don't you just be the ubermensch you think you are? At least then I could be like, I get the appeal. I wouldn't think they're right then, but I don't ever look at someone like that and be like, yeah, that looks fun.
Right. No.
Hashtag make Nazis fun again, you know?
I'm not going to say that. Because I don't think they were ever fun. I get what I do.
You know what I mean? Like they were like, they at least portrayed themselves as aspirational. They absolutely weren't. They were cowardly, sexual, deviant in terms of like lighting cigarettes out on themselves for hating themselves. Like awful bad, of course, I have to say that.
Yeah.
But at least they like put on a good show.
Right. Okay, so Rashida Jones gets this implant in her brain.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're like, oh, it's only going to be $200 a month to keep her going. To keep her at it.
Just you want to subscribe to your wife? $200 a month.
Meanwhile, this guy, his coworker at his like blue collar welding job or something, is on this website where people are doing tasks for
Task
money.
Rabbit.
Except
Who's a tasker?
Except it's like kind of dark web coded, like they have to do embarrassing things and people will be like, spank yourself on camera for this, almost like Cam Girl except darker. And
the humiliation's the point, kind of thing.
So his coworker is watching this guy on this website drink a cup of his own piss. First of all, that is not appropriate at work. Second of all,
yeah, where are their filters at the
literally
the blue collar plant?
But I'm also like, you find this fun? Like he's like being like, isn't this hilarious? This guy's drinking a cup of his own piss, and I'm like, you're weird. He's not the weird one. You're both weird.
You're
both
there's
weird.
No good, no
but it's very
in this
strange
story.
that you're watching this.
Yeah.
So from that point on in the episode, you're like, this guy's gonna drink piss.
Yeah, it's classic. It's Chekov's piss cup.
It's Chekov's piss cup. You piss in a cup in Act 3, in Act 1. In Act 3, you're gonna drink it. But literally every scene that this guy walks into, I'm like, because they're like, oh, money's getting hard. I'm like, get the cup. You thirsty? Get the cup.
He's like, you want to go see a show? You want to go to a theater? Drink the piss.
Drink the piss.
You're not going to piss at the urinal.
Call back.
Yeah. You looked at me so confused as I was
girl,
saying
what
that.
are you talking about? Okay.
I'm a boy. Stop.
Do you feel that way?
No. Wait, do I feel that way? Like, do I feel
so
like
you
I'm a
don't
boy?
feel that you're a boy?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There's no right answer.
You have to
tricky gays.
You have to experience everything through a queer lens. Okay, so Flash forward, they're driving around in their car to go to this restaurant that they go to on their anniversary every year. Even though they're like, we got to scrape together funds to go to this restaurant. Girl, you're getting burgers at a restaurant. There's just some not accurate scraping together funds because they live in a 2-bedroom house by themselves.
Sell that shit. Sell that shit.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Rashida Jones is a teacher. He's a blue-collar welder guy.
Those guys do make bank, but I understand.
Right, like it's not a bad living to have. You can pay $200 a month to keep a chip in your wife's brain. So they're driving to this restaurant. Halfway through the drive, she's like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." Powers down in the car. He freaks out. Whatever, pulls over. She goes out of range. It's like a cell service thing, and they have to pay $400 a month to do a nationwide coverage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, get that piss cup ready.
Why don't you eat some salty foods, get some popcorn.
Yeah. So that's when he starts on the dark web, where he opens an account. He's wearing a mask, so people
I
don't.
didn't even know that this part was part of it. The like shame of making money. Okay, cool.
So it is part of it, but I feel an unnecessary part. We'll get to my critiques of the script after.
Yeah, I mean, it's hat on a hat already, but also our whole economy is kind of shame based. Like, what are we willing to say at that camera to hope somebody likes us?
We did start this episode by coming into the microphone.
Prove it.
Prove it.
We might have
you
just
can't
been,
prove it.
Just pollen
You
in the
can't
air.
prove it.
You
This is brought to you by BetterHelp.
Just try to prove it.
I feel so bad for your girlfriend.
It is not the noises I make. It's my comedy noises.
Okay.
The ones I make are, oh, it's so good, babe. Oh, don't stop.
Peg me harder.
I'm a good little slut.
Okay. Are we still? Okay, we're in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, it's no longer the
It's
morning.
no longer 11 a.m.
Do you know, I've got a friend when they got married, so it was an ongoing joke that she wanted to peg him, but, like, because I kept bringing it up, like, she never did. It was just to bother him. And for their wedding, I got them a strap-on and lube.
No way.
Yeah, I gave them money, too, but I was like, I will waste the money on this, and got them
Just for the joke of it.
the half-gallon lube, too. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, good?
Getting a call.
Oh,
I'll call him back later.
okay. His boyfriend.
Mhm.
You know what's been amazing this episode? Not a single thing I've had to bleep, so this is going to be really good and fast for me. If you like, I don't even have to watch this one before I put it out so far.
So let's get back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it. That's when he starts drinking his piss on the internet. And it's
Does he go right to that, or does he try to go
right to it?
Does anybody want to maybe see my balls?
Nope.
Like,
Right. Well, later in the episode, he does a mouse trap on his balls. But he drinks his piss, and they don't even really show it. They just show him logging in, and then like
just him wiping his mouth.
literally, he walks upstairs, and Rashida Jones like comes over to kiss him, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, honey. Like, gotta brush my teeth," because he's been drinking his own
drinking that piss.
And he like puts a glass down in the sink.
I want. He just looks like a little Gatorade around the edge.
Yeah.
I actually just want to watch a show of that, of like the people who architected that to be like, yeah, this is a viable business opportunity.
Right. Yeah, I'm like, why wouldn't you try TaskRabbit first before you? Like, you must want to drink your piss a little bit. You must.
Yeah, you saw it and you're like, oh, that woke something.
Meanwhile, I'm like, how much of an idiot can you be? Because you know that your coworker frequents this website.
Is this a
He goes
secret
in-
coming out story? This is actually queer coded where he wants to be caught.
I don't think so. Okay, meanwhile, as all of this is progressing, you know, the fees are going up and going up and going up, and she's having to sleep all day because of it charging.
And what's the like time frame of the episode? Is it over years or is it like
It's over years and
okay,
years.
cool.
Meanwhile, she starts saying ads. So she's like, and it has to do with the situations that they're in. So like, she'll be mid-conversation and be like, yeah, I just have been trying to go to therapy. BetterHelp can help with online therapy, like in the middle of her speaking.
Yeah,
And it's like cunty when it happens. Like, do you have to bleep that?
No, I've also now lost the definition of that word because I have no idea how what you've said would apply
it's a little
to this.
it's a little bit shocking and a little bit like, ooh.
Okay.
from like a writing standpoint.
I see. Okay.
It gets you good.
Okay.
Because she's this elementary school teacher, and a kid comes up to her and is like, my parents are in a fight and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, Christian counseling can help in situations. And then she gets fired because she's like offering Christian counseling at the public school. And
because that has ever stopped any public school teacher in America. But yeah.
So it's like devolving. Now he's like pulling out his own teeth online. Yeah, it gets dark. But once again, I'm like, I don't know. Can you work at McDonald's or something?
Yeah,
why are you pulling out your teeth?
Or don't leave the county.
Right.
Don't do the nationwide plan.
Well, I think it's just the thing of like, there keeps becoming more tiers.
Yeah.
So it's like the lowest tier is like she sleeps for 16 hours a day, says ads, can't leave the county.
Yeah.
And it's at that point is, are you living?
Yeah.
So then at the end of the episode, like they've tried all this stuff. She's like sick and tired or whatever. And then they're just like, it's time, isn't it? And she's like, yeah, it's time. And decides to die. Here's what I want to say.
Did anything happen? Like, did they have kids? They
didn't have kids. But I'm like, you didn't try to sell your house. You didn't try to get a loan from the bank. You didn't call your friends and family to ask for money for support.
That was all internal.
Yes,
that wasn't.
that's okay.
I hope that got picked up. I don't think it did, but that was.
I don't see how it couldn't.
That was nuts.
Okay, and finally, if my wife is about to die and she's been tortured for years and years because of this thing, I'm going to the CEO's house and holding him at gunpoint.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just sitting in my backyard and being like, time for you to die, Rashida Jones. Like, I'm taking every possible measure. And, yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, if it was the love of your life and you're married and you're having this family, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'd bring her with me. Flop her body in front of him.
Yeah, and be like, you kill her. Do it. You won't.
Yeah.
And I'll kill you. That's my wife.
That's my wife.
I'm sorry, I gotta go drink a big cup of piss.
Hey, do you have any sparkling piss? I'm really thirsty.
So meanwhile, he goes into work, and his coworker printed out a picture of him drinking piss and put it on the bulletin board. And I'm like,
you're
duh.
still, but also you're still a freak coworker. Don't out yourself to everybody else.
I agree. But I'm also like, duh, your coworker uses this website. Of course he's going to see you drinking a piss. Then they get in a big fight. He gets fired from work. I think that's when they're like, let's kill her.
He's just a little piss pig now, though. Like, that doesn't go away. That's going to be online.
Yeah.
And you're going to remember it.
Yeah. There's many wrong choices made.
There's you got to hand wave a little bit of stuff like when you're watching something, but when it gets
agree.
too big, you're like, all right,
I know. I just like, why are you going right to the website of people drinking piss?
And you've got a coworker who's got watch piss drink money. Like, ask him for a loan.
Right. That's so true. Yeah. I mean, the coworker was like a young, like, punk. Not like a real punk.
No,
like a
rascal, rapscallion.
Like
type.
Dave Franco type.
Yeah.
You know the vibe.
Yeah, I do.
Kind of
fuck
asshole.
Boy.
Yeah, fuck boy.
Frat boy energy. That kind of thing?
A piss pig.
A piss pig, yeah. Oh.
Maybe that's the structure of this podcast as I explain episodes of Black Mirror to you, because that was really fun.
Yeah. You also were telling me that you just played Portal for the first time, which is so crazy.
Is it?
It's like a 15-year-old game, yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I loved it.
It's like one of those things that built Steam into what it is, which...
I played Portal 1 and beat it. I get really proud when I beat video games because I've been historically really bad at them.
Okay, yeah.
And I had an absolute blast. I think the very end sequence was a little underwhelming, if you remember it at all.
No, I do. It can't. Yes-ish. I don't think it's like.
Well, it's just
bad.
tricky because it's not an action game,
right?
And then it was kind of actiony, but you're just repeating the same steps over and over, and it didn't get harder each time.
Right. It's like a puzzle game where you can shoot Portal. If you don't know what Portal is. I don't think we've cultivated an audience that's going to automatically know what Portal is. Like, you could name a playwright, and they might. or a drag queen, they might get it. But
right.
yeah, it's a puzzle game where you like shoot a portal and you can walk through it. You've seen it everywhere. It's like huge in pop culture. Did you notice that after playing it? You're like, oh, I've seen a million riffs on this and a million.
Well, I think Portal itself is a riff on 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
With the whole
With
kind of
GLaDOS?
red eye, AI speaking over the loudspeaker. Like, that's very derivative of that.
Yeah, I'm talking about the mechanic of the portal though, and the aesthetic of it is very the orange and blue, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's part of the orange box is what it was called, and it was I know it was Portal, Half-Life 2, and Team Fortress 2. I think there was one other game in there, but that was my first foray into like gaming, was getting the orange box, because we had my school was weird. It was 4 classes a day for an hour, and then it switched the semester like colleges do, like my high school was. We had 80-minute, or we had an hour for lunch, which was cool. But it was like the second half, clubs would do stuff. And so we had a 3-dimensional interactive club, which was the computer lab. We all just played video games. And they pitched it. We weren't allowed to play team deathmatch because it was learning to cooperate in a 3-dimensional environment. So it was like that was kind of the pitch of we'll play like Bomb Squad. It's like we're learning computers kind of, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, we played Counter-Strike and Team Fortress 2, and that got me to go home and buy it. And I was such a little gamer when I was a kid. Like,
that's cute.
All day, every day, I'd play the Xbox. Once I finally had an Xbox 360, but I went to college, and after 3 weeks, I got rid of it all. I was like,
I remember you telling me.
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna fail if I have the ability and the freedom to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I was never into them.
That's kind of cool you are now. Are you like that? Are you able to have like temptations around and not take them? Because I'm not.
You know, have you ever had Scandinavian swimmers from Trader Joe's? No. They're like the
Dude, can we turn the
Swedish
bushwick down a little bit?
They're like the Swedish fish of Trader Joe's.
Okay.
They come in this big bag, and I will eat the entire thing every time. I physically cannot stop myself from eating them.
Yeah.
It is great, because I'm not like that with anything else. Anything else I could stop. But this, I cannot have it in my house. I cannot have it in the highest top cabinet.
You'll go get it.
I will go get it and finish it and eat the entire thing. So I think that's the only thing where I'm like, I will not buy them. I refuse to buy them. If they're at a party, I will not try a single one. Because now it's been probably a year and a half. Like, truly, I'm jonesing for it.
You're Rashida Jonesing.
I'm Rashida Jonesing for it.
Can we try to make that happen?
Scandinavian swimmers.
Get it right, please.
Get it right. Put some respect on it.
Can we please try to make I'm
Rashida Jonesing? I like it.
I do too.
Is that our T-shirt?
Yeah, Rashida Jonesing for some good boys.
Nonsense. That is a nonsense sentence.
Means you want to see the next sode, dude.
They're Rashida Jonesing for the next clip.
Yeah.
I like it.
What are you Rashida Jonesing for nowadays?
Let's get back to Portal.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm maybe halfway through Portal 2.
Oh whoa.
I don't know if I'm halfway. I'm several.
Feels like it.
It feels like it. I would hope so. I'm not liking it as much as Portal 1.
Yeah, they added the foam stuff, right? Is that with the accelerator?
I can't remember.
It's been a decade since I played Portal.
Well, basically, Portal 1, you wake up in this lab, and you're trying to complete these tests. The structure of Portal 2 is that you wake up, and the AI thing wakes back up, and it's kind of post-apocalyptic, and which I guess is the only way they could possibly do it.
Yeah.
But now you're doing all these tests again, but in a kind of dilapidated world. And I thought what was so successful about the first one is that you're in this hyper clean, pristine, white, amazing thing. And then when you break out in the end, it's all like chaos, grimy, graffiti, just past the part that you could see the whole time. And I was like, that is so cool.
Even though you hated the ending.
I did not hate the ending. It was just a little underwhelming.
Official Portal sucks. Get him, nerds. There's an amazing amount of lore if you ever feel like diving into it. Like, just look up a Portal wiki, and you can spend hours finding out all the stuff about them. They know, like, there are people who have, like, pretty well substantiated, like, oh, you are like the 9th person to do this or something like that. They can tell you where other people have been and how they did it. It's pretty crazy because there's so much There's so much graffiti that stuff, and GLaDOS says certain things.
Oh.
There's a ton of like
I see.
research and work people have done into getting it.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was
I
cool.
like that. I love stuff like that with Easter eggs, and I think that's why I love Black Mirror so much as well.
Yeah.
Is it can be similar where I go to Reddit and they're like, oh, there was an advertisement in the first episode of season 1, and the company that advertisement for is seen in the background of season 7. That sort of thing.
You did or did not like Arrested Development?
Love
Arrested Development is the perfect version of that.
And a lot of people hated that last season.
I haven't seen it, but
and it's 'cause it's too smart in that way, where it's like they're playing with time a lot in that last season. So it's like it is like two people walk by each other in the first episode. You don't know until the last episode that person is like a main character in the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But and that whole just them walking by each other is integral to the entire thing, and it's almost hard to follow in how smart and planned out the whole thing is.
I believe that. That show is so good, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
I watched a video. It was, I think it's from Cracked maybe, but it was like came out like a month ago. A guy going like, I think Arrested Development invented a new joke style, and he goes through all the different jokes, a bunch, and he talks about Arrested Development. But I'll send it to you. It's pretty interesting.
Rita Corney Michael. Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
It would, there's a lot of like
wait with Tobias?
rule of threes kind of stuff. Well, they go, Mama Horny Michael is the first one.
Yeah.
And then later when his dad's in jail, he goes, Daddy Horny Michael.
Yeah,
and I think that happens in season 1, season 2, and then in season 3, Rita, who's the, Down syndrome character,
which they named her that is kind of rough.
No.
Yeah. It's not a perfect show.
And in the 3rd season, she goes, Rita Corny Michael. And that's the 3rd one that completes it, but it's like different than the other.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's good.
It's just all genius. It's all genius.
No, I'll find it and send you, but it's something in that last season with Tobias where they play with time and you don't see it. Anyway.
Oh. And that's the new joke that they invented?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's something with, it's too much, it's a bummer that Jeffrey Tambor was kind of a bastard on the last one.
Which one's he? Is
George
he in the show? Oh.
He's like the guy who did Transparent.
Right.
Which is such a good name. I've never seen that show, but that's such a good name for it. I don't know if you watched it.
Mm-mm.
Do you know it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he's on Amazon, and it's him, the dad there. It's like a drama where he realizes at that age that he's a woman.
Work.
And it was either Hulu or Amazon, and it was called Transparent, and it was all about the fallout.
That's
there.
good.
It's just a good name.
They
you know
came
what I
up
mean?
with the name, and they were like,
We got
this
it.
works.
Yes. But apparently he was a bastard on that last season. Like, he was always tough to work with, but I also love that, and I've realized this. Archer's like, I think Archer's amazing.
I know
the first,
that about
5
you.
seasons are incredible. They're all good, but early on, it's got a handful of the people from Arrested Development. The father plays the head of the CIA, and then the mother plays Archer's mother, and they've got a will they won't they kind of thing. And like you're like, man, they were firing on all cylinders to have played like a couple in Arrested Development and then move to Archer and get to do it. It was really good.
Nice.
I love that show.
We got to wrap this
Yeah,
up,
it's
Mama.
overall, it's time to go.
Overall, we got to go.